We have some fairly big news for you guys today because it looks like DJI has exited the American market in many key products, most notably drones. Something very dramatic is going on. The DJI store, where they do the majority of their sales offline or online, is pretty much shut down. Go check it out right now, DJI.com. Go look at the latest drones, the Flip, the Mini 4 Pro. Everything is out of stock. Notify me. Effectively, that's a way of just shutting down the store. And they're saying, hey, no sales, nothing. Service, they say, oh, it's going to take about maybe 2 to 3 months. And basically, it seems like they packed up and left. And in its most of the categories are affected. So your drones, your controllers, your microphone. I think the microphone is still available. The DJI Osmo Pocket, that really nice gimbal that they have, the action camera, all out of stock. The power stations that they recently entered the market with, I think they have a lot of stock with it because they are not very competitive. They're still in stock. So one of the few that are still in stock. But effectively, they shut it down. Why did this happen? And what is the extent of it? So the other thing is, if you look at Amazon, Amazon has very limited stock. So basically, I think whatever you guys had in stock, go ahead and get rid of it, sell it, is what they're saying. But we're not going to give you any more. So pretty crazy. The local Best Buy, our local stores, nothing. The shelves are empty. I don't know what's going on. You talk to everyone, anyone, my contacts, you talk to Best Buy, they say, oh, we're just, the common theme is, oh, there's so much going on in tariffs that they just, we're not selling it right now. But really, I think something bigger is going on here because the tariffs have peaked and kind of leveled off. But there's a lot more dynamics here at play. One of the key developments is there is a White House rule unleashing American drone dominance June 5, 2025. So this was enacted or approved legislation that details in many, many pages how the US is going to dominate drones again by blocking out the competition, by funding the local efforts, the US efforts. DJI is already banned from the military and all government work, but consumer drones and agriculture, business, they're used very, very heavily. But I think this act, so many pages, it is really clamping down on everything. Funding, supplies, no parts can be made. Everything is so restrictive. So I think what really happened is this might have been the trigger into the final kind of act here. DJI, US has been trying to ban DJI for 5 years or since its inception because they're just so good. They're just so dominant. We say they're spying, but we can never really prove or see any evidence of that. So, and why would they? It's a money making operation. But what's going on is it's pretty obvious. The government, the U.S. government of today does not want them because they are so dominant, and we are trying to build up our kind of companies that are really not competitive in the consumer market. And so that's the climate. And I think DJI has said, threw in the towel and said, forget it. We have the rest of the world. They own 90% of the consumer market. We have the rest of the world to sell to. We'll deal with that there instead of dealing with legislation here where we don't have a chance, especially in the current climate. This company called SkyDO was trying to ban DJI so they don't have to compete with them. And they were very active in fighting this. There's a groundswell of consumer report right to your senator. We're in a different climate right now, and whatever lobbying you consumers want to do, it's not really going to change anything. Even the lawmakers seem to have no no weight on their vote onto what they can affect. So I think DJI just threw in the towel and said, okay, screw you guys, no more sales, and we'll come back when the political climate is better or the economic climate is better. So I think that's what's really happening. What the effects are devastating. The proverbial something is going to hit the fan. I think in a few days. So I'm glad you guys are watching this video. Please let me know, what do you think is happening? What is your experience with customer support these days, and how is it going to affect you? it is gonna harm the U.S. consumer and the U.S. Business owner, the farmers. Like, it's gonna be mind blowing. So maybe there's a little power play here, but can you imagine how much agriculture drones are affected? For surveying and all this. So, and consumers, how many businesses are affected if something like this happens or is happening. So let me know in the comments what you guys think, and how it will affect you in your day-to-day lives and in your recreation and in your work. Thank you very much.